Okay, welcome back to episode 26, Fans Pulse Lap 2 coming right up. First of all, I just wanted to remind you that we have reopened our Speedway Experience Day competition in conjunction with our partners, that AMSA, that's the Amateur Motorcycle Speedway Academy. They are offering a fully expenses paid, that's equipment and tuition, experience day on the Scunthorpe mini track. All you've got to do is find our competition post for October on our Facebook page, posted on Monday the 6th of October to be precise, and tell us why, comment below and tell us why you would want or should win that particular prize. You're welcome to nominate someone else as well. Good luck to that. Alright, let's get back on with this week's discussion. Fans Pulse Lap 2. Listen, we like to be, we blow our own trumpet and say that we want to be fully interactive with you, which is absolutely the case. We love hearing from you. We love corresponding with you. We love responding to your comments and those thumbs up on YouTube and on Facebook in particular. And just to prove the point, some of you, or many of you, have taken some time just to comment and empty your heads of some thinking around some of the ills around the current speedway scene. So we thought we would dedicate this particular segment to running through and discussing some of the comments that you have taken the time to share with us. So as you can see, hopefully on screen, we've got some comments posted by some of our regular posters on Facebook. I'm just going to have a quick trip through some of these. So Phil Gordon, right, so I won't read out everything, Phil, it's quite a lengthy chat, but Phil Gordon has said, British Speedway needs to start again from scratch. Times have changed and the sport needs to change. We have to accept, for now at least, the big crowds have gone for many reasons. It may mean losing the very top stars, but we have to accept that. First and foremost, the sport has to be viable and sustainable from a business perspective. One quote I did like from Phil says that the motorcycle news used to have a catchphrase, if people don't know, people won't go, which kind of resonates with me. Carol, you've got, with your promoter's hat on, if people don't know, people won't go. That really is quite a powerful one. What's it actually, Carol?
Yeah, definitely, and it's true as well. Very true. We used to do a lot of school visits, a lot of fetes, a lot of local things, and we went to one that was only 2 miles from the showground. We got the gazebo set up, the Panthers gazebo, the bikes out, and the amount of people that turned around and said, "Well, where do we ride Speedway in Peterborough?" It's 2 miles that way, and being that close and not knowing, and I think, well, that's down to us. At the time I wasn't promoter, I was team manager at the time, but I looked at it and gone, that's down to us for not advertising and putting it out there. If people 2 miles away don't know where we are, it's sad really, but we obviously don't do enough to get it out there. The only publicity that it seems to get is bad publicity, like this week with the with Jake's with the bike clearing the fence. It's the only time we ever get coverage in any nationwide coverage, so which is not really good, is it? It's the bad things. But locally at the tracks we obviously don't get it out there enough, and we don't spend enough money on the publicity, and that's down to promoters and owners.
Definitely something to look at in that space. Go on, Nigel.
Carl, how many of them school kids and mums and dads went after you'd been to that school? Do you know that? You won't know, will you?
No, we don't know, and the thing is, like with the school visits, we done like the school visits. The amount of people that said, "Oh, we used to go," and
so they know it's there. They know it's there. Yeah. They don't want to know it's there, otherwise they'd go. I'm sure you. I don't know about you, but I'm sure you, like every other club. There's loads of advertising in the paper. There's always be a write-up in the Peterborough paper after the night meeting or whatever. I'm sure there was. People know it's there if they want to know it's there, Carl.
Yeah, and that's right. And the trouble is, I think we found that certainly in Peterborough, the sports editor of our local Evening Telegraph wasn't a Speedway fan. He put in the paper one night that he come to Speedway, and it was quite funny. He said, I sat in the stand and I was that bored I fell asleep. And he's put that in our local paper.
Right.
And that's the sports editor. And it's like, well, yeah, just because he wasn't a Speedway fan, you know, he was a cricket fan, but you know, that's what he put in there, and it doesn't do the sport any good in the city by having that in black and white in the paper. But I still think, you know, we probably could have done more than what we did.
Yeah, but advertising's expensive, Carl, and you don't know how much advertising is working, do you, when you've done it?
No, and I'll be honest with you, the estate that I live on is literally I can walk to the showground or to the track. If I went from my house, I could walk there quicker than I could drive around. And the people, there's probably nearly 2,000 houses on this estate surrounding the showground, and we offered people free entry into one of our meetings for anybody on the estate if they brought a ticket, that we issued a ticket that they could get download off of our local residents group. How many do you reckon out of 2,000 houses, how many do you reckon come through the gate?
Half a dozen if you're lucky.
With tickets.
I'll say
half a dozen.
2 dozen.
2 people.
2.
There you go. And they knew it were there, didn't they? They knew it were there because you told them.
And it was free.
Maybe they were busy.
2 people.
You dickhead.
2 people. I could not believe it. I really couldn't. It was a joke. It really was. And you think, well, and they're on the doorstep.
Yeah. Do you know what? It's a bad day, Carol. If we've got to concede that Speedway is less exciting than cricket, then that is the end, as far as I'm concerned. But
I mean, like Cal, you know, you had your last meeting at Peterborough. I bet the place was rammed, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. It
and
was.
People don't know it's there.
Yeah.
That's the sad bit, isn't it? Everybody goes to Leicester. Look at the crowd at Leicester last week and Ipswich.
Yeah. They all know it's there. They just choose when they want to go.
I think
glory hunters.
Yeah. Anyway, listen. Thanks for that particular comment. Here's one for you to tackle, Simon. So Graham Porter writes, "Engines!" ! Sick of hearing about engines that don't like dirt, they don't like grip, they don't like the wet. Which idiots asked for these types of engines, Simon Lambert? Is that a fair comment, Simon? The modern lay-down engine. Is Graham right? They don't like dirt, they don't like grip, they don't like wet.
Well, we get round, don't we? So that, you know, you have to use the tools that you're given. But listen, they are slightly different to what they used to be, but there's not that much difference. They've got these rev limiters on, but you're probably losing, 2,000 RPM, which isn't the be-all or end-all. They're still revving out more than capabilities. They've changed this, they've changed that. People say about carbs. The carbs are the same size as they used to be. They've tried to do these short strokes, the short strokes and all this. I think you just have to, it's like anything. If you complicate things in life, it gets complicated. If you try and keep it simple, you sort of simplify, don't you? Exhausts were different, I will say that, because I remember changing exhausts and that, but it's like anything, you know. These top boys with these new Kino wheels that have got less spokes and the lightweight and the this and that, £1,000 a wheel, mate. You can't, people like me can't afford them, and all these top lads. But if the top 16 in the world were all on them Kino wheels, everyone would go buy them next week, you know. If Bartos had pink equipment next year with pink wheels, everyone would go do it, wouldn't they? Like, they're like sheep. But the engines are not that much different. At the end of the day, you say to your engine tuner how you want your engine, whether you want it to rev, whether you want it to be flat. And at the end of the day, that's why we have jets and ignitions. So, yeah, I don't disagree. I disagree with all that. It's
finding what suits you, isn't it?
Correct.
Finding what suits you.
You listen to Cooper Rushton and people like that, they're young lads, the bikes are screaming. you know.
But he doesn't know, does he? He doesn't know, will he?
No, well, I
He
wouldn't
can't
say he doesn't know because he's he's good enough. But like Carl will tell you this, 2015, 16, I think it was, we had a lad called Tom Bacon at Peterborough, didn't we, Carl? You listen to everybody's bike, they were like tractors. And then in comes Tom, absolutely screaming. His ignition was probably on 35 and it's screaming. But that's how he wanted his engines. And then when he got them to go forward, God, did they go. Whereas, you know, you listen to somebody like, say, Jack Alder's engine, Robert Lambert's engine, and they were just, brrr. You think, well, how do you do it? You know, this is what they say nowadays, like the sprockets that I hear some of these top boys use at like places like Sheffield and that. It's like, it's mind blowing. No wonder they need 10 laps sometimes when they miss a start because they've got to get going.
Yeah. Simon, what would you say is the single biggest issue with engines? Is it durability? Is it the cost of maintaining them? What is it?
Just costs, mate. There isn't enough engine tuners in England, mate. There's just, there is not enough engine tuners. Like, you get what you pay for in life. I'm a believer of that, you know. You buy top end once, you look after it. At the end of the day, the durability and all that, that's on you. You change your oil regularly, you keep clean air filters on to stop the dirt going in the carb, to stop it going in the ports. If you look after your engine, it will look after you. It's like a woman, innit? You know what I mean? You look after them, they look after you. There's maybe 4 engine tuners in England now. Like, if that. You've got Jeff Howarth, you've got Sean Wilson. I think Broomy's now stopped. You've obviously got Johnsy, but Johnsy wants to be with these topper boys, to be fair, and he's not cheap. You know, when somebody like me's riding one league, I can't afford it. But
Simon, why? Can I ask you, why don't you do it yourself?
I don't know what I'm doing.
Simon, they're so simple. I mean, hey, I was nothing, but, and don't forget, all I did was milk cows and drive a tractor. And I used to do my own engines. A lot of the time, I did my own engines.
Yeah, my dad's never taught me anything I know about a speeder bike. I'm not the best mechanic in the world. I can wash and prep a bike pretty good, but I'm self-taught from other riders that have lived with us in the past. My dad comes in my workshop, he has a fag. If he picks a spanner up, I take it out his hand or throw it at him because he doesn't know what he's doing. That's just how it is. Father and son don't work. But
no, it doesn't. But
they're too expensive, mate, for somebody like me to get my hands on one and let it go bang.
They're not. They're so simple. I tell you what,
maybe you can do one for me next year, Krabby.
Yeah, there's a market for you, Krabby. There's a market for you.
I can go back to, okay, in my day with the uprights. At the end of the day, it's still all the same thing inside the engines, isn't it? The difference is now they're going up and down a lot quicker than they used to do. The pistons are going up and down a lot quicker. But like, I can remember Graham Jones and myself pulling an engine to bits, and we didn't really know what we were doing. But we pulled them to bits, and I learnt it from there, just on my own, me, Graham Jones, and we learnt it ourselves. And Jonesy went on to tune engines, didn't he?
Yeah, he done some for me in the past before.
And Jonesy learnt himself. I don't understand why some of you lads, okay, not the bottom end, take the bottom end away and get it done. But they are so simple to do. I don't understand why you don't do the top ends yourself. Don't understand. Honestly, because they're so simple. You're frightened to do them, aren't you? That's why.
Well, anything's simple if you know what you're doing, Krabby, you know what I mean?
I didn't though, Simon.
I didn't.
Maybe you two should get together and have a strip down and rebuild session.
Yeah,
we'll have to get Dean Felton.
Dean will jump in.
Yeah, he's been about and done it all in the past. Yeah, he'd be good.
Yeah, I can see it now. 360 engine tuning. How about that?
Yeah.
There you go. There's market there for it. You just advertised it, Derek.
Sideline.
Graham Porter. Do you see what you've started, Graham Porter? Listen, good question, Graham. Thanks for sharing your comment on engines. Carol Johnson, next one up. Richard Gilbert writes, why is everything so cloak and dagger in Speedway? Teams for events are dribbled in, one rider per week when the team's already lined up and the riders all know Just be open and treat the supporters and sponsors with maturity, says Richard. But he has a point, right? Speedway Futures Limited, who knew about that until a few weeks ago? Some year on year, the AGMs, everything's kind of agreed weeks before the AGMs, and then it's kind of drip fed out afterwards, Carol.
It is, yeah, and certainly from sort of a team point of view, if we so we build our team and we've got our team by say December, we've put our team together, we know our team. So if we was to then go, okay, right, we're going to put every rider out in December, by the end of January, people are going, oh, we don't know anything, we've not heard anything, we've got nothing, there's no news, why are we not hearing things, why are we not, which was one of the reasons, or most of the time, it's like why you drip feed riders in, because it keeps everybody. And it's just going back to the Mildenhall meeting that we've got in a week's time. It's like when we announced that we was riding, the first comment was, "What team are they having? Who's riding?" We hadn't announced anything apart from we're racing against Mildenhall in a challenge match. But straight away, it's like, well, who's riding?
Who's riding for you?
Yeah, so it's like. So with that, yes, we used to drip feed riders in. We'd probably do 1-2 a week, just to keep the interest. Because if not, you've got dead space, and you've got to create news to bring to supporters, because supporters are impatient. I understand that, without the supporters, there wouldn't be Speedway, but they've also got to understand is that. There could be certain things why we're not releasing them, or what's the reason why we don't. We want to fill news space, over a certain amount of months, so people have not, they've got something to look forward to as well. Some people are impatient and want everything now. It's like, oh, we've got a team together. We know you've got a team. Why don't you just announce it?
Yeah, you're right.
So then what's going to happen after that? So it's a bit of, there's a bit of both. You have to fill the space as well. You can't go then for 3 months without with no news. And it's always nice to, put a rider out every now and again, and then feel. We always used to look at going. We wanted. Certainly at Peterborough, we wanted something out every other day in off season, really, but you didn't want to flood it. It was sort of like a rider interview or a rider announcement, and then an interview, and then a management interview or something. Just to keep the interest. But it's difficult, isn't it? It's so hard to put things out there all in one go and then keep people happy, because you'd have somebody else moaning then, wouldn't you? Why have you released this? And the whole team, but
some supporters would quite enjoy being teased. I quite like being teased about the team announcement. Richard Gilbert, be more patient. Patience is a virtue, I think, is what we're saying. Yeah. Listen, but we'll just pick up two more comments if you don't mind. Nigel, you'll have a view on this one. So David Umney writes, creating atmosphere at British Speedway meetings, that's what we need to focus on. Why do so many supporters appear to dislike any form of crowd noise, scarf waving, drumming, etc., when it's commonplace elsewhere in other sports? And I've got to say, I have seen this firsthand on the terraces sometimes. British Speedway fans can be quite reluctant to jump about and clap and cheer and all that good stuff that you see in Poland, for example, Polish Speedway.
I didn't know that they didn't want noise.
Some supporters, Nigel, complain about air horns and things. I don't like air horns. Even at Cardiff, didn't they create a noise-free zone or something?
Yeah, something happened. I know at Hull, when my later days, just before I finished, they stopped the air horns at Hull, because everybody used to have air horns. There was loads of noise, and they banned the air horns because of the residents. 2 hours on a Wednesday night, and it caused a massive problem. I don't know, ridiculous, isn't it? Because, like I reckon, all along, you're not telling me I don't know, Manchester City there at Etihad. There's houses near that and what have you. They must hear that noise, the disruption during the day when there's 60,000 people going there. There must be more disruption there than there is at a Speedway meeting for 2 hours with a bit of noise and one thing and another. But I don't know. I didn't know that Speedway supporters had actually said they don't want the noise because, as you say, or as David says, noise creates atmosphere, doesn't it?
It does. Listen, if you're watching 360 Speedsters, do let us know. Do comment. Do you support David's view? Do you disagree with it? Just my own observation is that British, maybe it's a cultural thing, but British Speedway fans, I'm not going to say sports fans, British Speedway fans tend to be a little bit more reserved, I think. They'll quite happily politely clap before they would cheer and whoop and jump up and down a little bit. But what's your view on that?
From a rider's point of view, the more noise, the better.
Yeah.
I think it's great. It adds a bit of atmosphere and tension to it all. And I always think if you can hear the noise of the fans, whether it's boos or a round of applause over 4 of the motorbikes, that's cool.
Well, it makes you. There was nothing better, was there, than when you went out on parade, and you'll know it now, Simon. You go out on parade, and if there's a big crowd there and they're making a lot of noise, it makes the hair stand up on the back of your neck, doesn't it? Lots of noise and.
You don't really get that nowadays because everywhere you go, the parades are different, aren't they? Do you know what I mean?
Right. I just remember.
Depends, like the parade at Pool's pretty good, and I think Glasgow you go around on a truck, don't you?
No, round your bike, Simon. On your bike.
Okay. Well, I always think the ones where you walk out to the start line, like especially if you're a pool rider. Obviously, Pool have got really good crowds, well supported every week. From a home rider's point of view, you got 2,000 people there cheering and clapping. Like it's cool. Obviously, sometimes they're polite and they give you a little clap when they say your name, whatever. Some noise is better than no noise, but I just think the more noise, the better. It's what it's all about. It's
definitely.
Like you just said, you go to the Etihad, 60,000 people. How many fights and drunks are there before the game and causing disruption in the town before they get to the game? Do you know what I mean? We don't have none of that Speedway. It's like it's 2 hours, and I think, to be honest, there should be more. There should be more entertainment in the package in them 2 hours than just the racing.
Yeah, I agree, Simon. I agree. I do think eventually, kicking and screaming or otherwise, I think British Speedway will have to address that moving forward to enhance that value for money thing that we've talked about a number of times. Listen, let's pick up the last comment on this particular segment, and it's from Hayley Constant. So hello to you, Hayley. Hayley has been on the 360 journey since week 1, I seem to remember. Hayley, you're one of the first, the early adopters of 360, and Hayley will be a happy Hayley because she's a Witches fan and will have enjoyed what happened last week. So Hayley brings up this point: rising stars and how they should be progressed. I feel that they're often replaced by a reserve, and surely this must knock their confidence. If you want them to progress, surely they need to have 4 rides. So Hayley's just blowing the trumpet to try and protect and help progress the rising stars, the younger riders that we bring into our teams. Carol, do you have a view on that?
Yeah, I do. We've covered this ground, I think, once before, and I'm one of these that we was in the position with Tom Perry that was in our reserve berth, and he was supposed to be protected. He done so well. Got himself really good average, pushed him up into the team, got injured, finished his season because he come back in the main body of the team and struggled. And for me, they should have been protected. They should have stayed at reserve. They should be in there, and they shouldn't have to move into the main body. If they progress and they're that good, then fair play to them. But they still should stay at reserve. They still should be protected. We're too quick, and it's too easy to just bin them off and bring somebody in. Yes, there's certain situations that if they are really struggling for form, you can make a change, but it has to be for another rising star who's in the pool. Not just bin him off for a foreign rider that's now on a similar average. It shouldn't happen like that. We should be protecting our British riders. I've always said this: the championship should be the place that it starts. The two reserves in the championship should be British reserves, should be British riders protecting the British. Moving them up, them second strings in the championship then should become your reserves in the Premiership if you want to keep that that gulf between the two, and that's a natural progression in that respect. And I think that it is too easy just to get rid of them, and this is why we see a lot of riders, young riders that have got potential that disappear from the sport too early because they don't get the support and backing of British Speedway. And I think that's and there's been a hell of a lot of riders in that situation that have just disappeared, and that's down to because of it's too easy to get rid of them. Let's nurture them, bring them through. We want them to progress. So while we keep bashing them, why don't we build them up and give them what they need? If the clubs have got to support them in one way or another, then let's support them. They're the future, and that's how it should have been. And unfortunately, it's not.
100%, Carl. Wise words. Thank you very much, and thank you very much, 360 Speedsters, for continuing to contribute and comment in a whole raft of our 360 Speedway output, be that on Facebook predominantly or on YouTube. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep giving us those thumbs up, because that's a powerful action. Haley Constance, just because you have been a good customer, a good viewer, a loyal viewer of 360 Speedway, I thought we would just give a little bit of showcase of what happened back at football on Thursday night. I thought this was a lovely touch. I don't know whose idea this was at Ipswich on Thursday, but to bring the crowd onto the centre green and have them so proximate, so close to the trophy presentation, etc., I thought was a really nice touch on Thursday. Other tracks take note. Carol, what do you think of what the Witches did on Thursday night in terms of the trophy presentation and involving the crowd?
Brilliant. We was always ones to involve the crowd. We wanted the crowd to be part of what we done because, like I said before, without them there wouldn't be Speedway. And we've always, as clubs, criticised the trophy ceremony at the end of big meetings. We've been on a podium at Ipswich at the Knockout Cup, and literally it was like get you up there and get you off as quick as possible. We've been to the Riders' Championships that literally you stand there on 3 boxes and you cleared off. It was one thing that was mentioned and Chris Louis was one of them actually that brought it up at one of the AGMs, that the presentation for trophies was poor and needed to improve. And as it is, obviously their home track and winning, and they've got a fantastic podium, and that's what it's all about. It's it's something different, isn't it? That's what people want to see, and the crowd want to be around them. Without them, there is no Speedway.
Absolutely.
It's all part of the show, isn't it? All part of the show.
100%. And doesn't it look good? It looks fantastic.
I really thought it was fantastic. So credit to Ipswich and congratulations once again. And commiserations to Leicester, runners-up in the Premiership. They weren't losers, they were runners-up, and they have got the Knockout Cup. For some solace, they did win some trophies this season. A couple of things that I just wanted to pick off. Another boast by 360. So not only have 360 Speedway had a 100% prediction record through the semi-finals of the Premiership and the Championship, we also did select Ipswich to win the Premiership title last week. So there's only one outstanding playoff tie, which is going to happen this week. So as we record 360 Speedway this week, Poole and Glasgow have yet to meet on track. The first leg happens at Wimborne Road on Wednesday, with the deciding tie at Ashfield this Friday night. To say I'm a little bit nervous is an understatement, but hopefully from a red and white perspective, Glasgow can give a good account of themselves, a better account of themselves than has been the case already this season, and come away from Dorset with, I don't know, I think 10 points maximum. I wouldn't like to be any more than 10 points behind Poole. Obviously, a lot less would be even better. And credit to the Pirates, because the Pirates are still chasing down back-to-back trebles. They lifted the Knockout Cup last week. They're going to face Redcar in the BSN Series final. I think that kicks off at the weekend. And as I've mentioned already, the big one, the playoff grand final, will be settled by Friday night. So if you are going to Glasgow or Poole this week, enjoy being trackside. Don't just politely clap, as we were talking about earlier. Whoop, whoop, dance, make a lot of noise, get behind your team and add to the overall atmosphere. And good luck to both sides. May the best team win.